Hi. Hello, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Kevin Chan here, 7:30 in the morning. And today is a lovely Tuesday today, right? So 20th of May. And we're going to be continuing with the Feng Shui secret for the period 9. So, which is the session that we talk about all the combination that is available for houses in period 9. And hence, you would be able to use the house. This is just very simple, right? So I can see that Pekpui came in very early today, and I got Kelvin here and also GB, right? So for those of you who are more on the China side, the 20th of May, right? So 20th of May is the I love you day, right? So 我爱你,520,我爱你. I don't know how they translate it into that, right? So no, but no, it's again another day where you express your love to your loved one, right? Don't do it, they execute you in public. Right. Hopefully everybody is doing fine. Yes, we are at the again, it's almost the end league of the month of May already. Very fast, right? Really quick, right? So the Grand Duke month almost going to the end, and it seems like news of national natural disaster is non-stop. Okay, right? Non-stop natural disaster. It's either flooding, earthquake. Now is very famous right now is volcano, right? Volcano become active, right? So it's earthquake, flood, volcano, earthquake, flood, volcano. Burning things down every now and then, right? So come. Let us move into this and take a look at the feng shui, right? So as usual, getting in touch with me, Telegram is a good place for you to go. Lots of things to download there, right? So notification all is being put inside Telegram, and then there is the newsletter. Right? So there's the newsletter. So the forecast for the month of June next month, which is going to be published, in this few days, right? So if you want to have the forecast earlier, then go and get yourself subscribed onto Substack, which is the newsletter. Or you need some community support. Community support, go and join the Facebook page, which is a fan club community based. You can ask question there. There's certain things that you are not familiar with, or there are certain things that you want to post for the community on the Chinese metaphysics. Feel free to go ahead and post stuff inside. So no worry on that one. Right, so come, let's take a look at it. Right, so these are all the houses, whichever direction that you're in. The flying star plotting. Right, so now this one you can get it on the internet. Right, so you just type in period 9 flying stars, right? So they will basically give you, right? So you can plot for any single period 8, period 1, period 2, period 9, right? So because the plotting is fixed, anybody who plot it is going to look like that, right? So it cannot run from anywhere. It's not like according to your preference, and these are all the available what we call combination there is, right? So if you study all of them, there's only a few combination only. It's just the difference is that the combination fall on which part of your house, right? So as usual, now I tell people there is 4 part of the house which is a bit more important than other part of the house, due to the high traffic usage. Number one is of course your house door. You need to entry and exit your house using that particular. So definitely one day you would use it twice at least. So that is significant. It usually signify your income potential. So if you are what we call somebody who is very particular about your income potential, then make sure that the door in the right flying star combination. So then there is the bedroom, right? So bedroom, you're gonna sleep there, of course. It's gonna take you a lot of time. 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, don't care lah. Whatever is your sleeping time, right? So that's basically gonna be it, right? So and of course, that one is gonna be governing your temperament, which is gonna affect your relationship with other people, right? So if you are a relationship centric person, make sure your room is in the right flying star sector, right? So then there is the kitchen, right? So kitchen, of course, is the health, governing your particular person's health, right? So then make sure that it is in the correct places. Then lastly is your what we call study room or your work room. That one basically govern your overall development, right? So overall development, how you grow, right? So your growth and your development is decided by that. So this 4 area is what we call heavily usage area, what important area. So that's why the strategy here is to make sure that this 4 area falls within the flying star combination that is auspicious or useful to you. right? Other places like, toilet lah, nowadays the living hall lah, these are places whereby it's hardly being used. Staircase, storeroom, all these are, not very useful places. So, don't put too high of a concern over those type of places. It's not going to be high traffic, right? So that's why, don't really need to bother about this. So of course, the question is it possible to have all the four area into a good what we call flying star feng shui combination? If you are buying a house that is built by somebody else, bit difficult, right? Because when they build the house, that time they don't take feng shui into consideration. Okay, right? So if you're building a house on your own, pretty okay, right? So pretty okay, right? So and also it depends on how willing are you in terms of relocating or renovating the place, right? So if you don't like the room here, if you can relocate to a different room or re-renovate the entire place so that that place become a room, you're fine. No? But if it's not, which is like most of the people in the world, you have to choose something that basically fits most of the criteria, and you need to know how to rank the criteria that you have. And so, like for example, a lot of people in different stages in your life, let's say, prior to 30 years old, of course, looking for money is very important. Okay. Right. So like maybe 30 to 40 relationship become more important, 40 above health become more important. Different stages have different objective, right? So you have to put all those into consideration when you are choosing a house. There's no house that say that, oh no, this house is good for everything. No, nothing. None of these house. Every single house is good for something. Depend on how the configuration is, because the combination is available on every single house. Okay, it's just that whether it's easy for you to use or not, right? So if you distill all of them together, right, so these are all the combination that's available, right? So today I'll be taking the driver's seat. We will be looking at one of it, right? So the one that with the little running man one are the one that has already been done. So if you want to see that, go and search back on the playlist, right? So which is the period, which is the Xuan Kong Flying Star playlist, right? So and go and watch all the rest of it and see what are the effects. So today we'll be looking at the 5 and 4 combination, right? So which is one of the not too auspicious combination because star number 5. And so by the way, star number 5 in the Xuan Kong Flying Star system is always labeled as the bad guy, right? Except when it is in period 5. Right? So now we are in period 9, right? So which is 20 years. Period 1 is another 20 years, that's 40 years. Then period 2, right? So it's another 20 years, that's 60 years. Then period 3, that's another 20 years, that's 80 years. So in conclusion is that you will never, at least all of us here in the audience today, we will never live to see the number 5 as a good star. So we always take the number 5 as a bad star, especially in period 9, because period 9 is fire. Fire further enhances the star number 5. Right? So that's basically why we skip star number 5 always. Right? Every single year also we label the 5 yellow star number 5 as a big calamity star that causes a lot of problem. Right? So yes, this particular star is very temperamental. So the star number 5 is really like a volcano. It explodes, everything gets destroyed. It has the capability of raising everything. It also have the capability of resetting everything. It's basically a ultimate reset button. Okay, right? So that's why we tend to not use the star number 5. Any combination together with star number 5 basically is labeled as being bad. Doesn't really good. Right. So now we have already spoken about the 5, which is the 4-5 combination, and then this is the 5-4 combination. So a lot of people say that is there any different? Anyway, the energy composition is different because the nature of a sitting star and the nature of the facing star is very different in feng shui. Right? In feng shui, is very different. So this is also the part you also need to understand that where are you trying to enhance here? You are trying to enhance the sitting position or you're trying to enhance the facing position. So the difference, the sitting position is like a person habit, whereas the facing position is like a person behavior. Behavior can change. Habit once is established, very difficult to change. Right? So this is like talking about some. I throw you some analogy so that you all can understand, right? So this is like swimming. So swimming, once you learn how to swim already, right? No matter whatever situation you fall into the water, you automatically know how to swim. That is basically a habitual muscle memory thing. right? So, but whereas when we talk about the behavior, the facing style in swimming is what style of swimming that you use. Some people fall into the water, they use the frog style. Some people fall into the water, they use the freestyle. Some people fall into the water, they like to action a bit, they can do the butterfly. Some people do dolphin, right? So some people do the dolphin, right? So they are puppy dog style, right? So those are what we call behavior. Behavior can change, right? What style you swim can change, but the entire idea of whether you can swim or cannot swim doesn't change, right? So same thing, if I change it to, let's say, bicycle, right? So those that who know how to ride bicycle already, right? No matter how long you have not ride a bicycle, but when you sit up onto the bicycle, automatically can balance, automatically can ride the bicycle, right? So the facing style, which is the behavior, is what stunt can you do with the bicycle. Some people can do wheelie, right? So we should pull up the head of the bicycle and go. Some people can let go of the steering wheel of the bicycle and ride the bicycle without touching the steering wheel of the bicycle, right? So there's a lot. Some people can ride the bicycle in reverse, right? So those are called behavioral. It can change, right? So whereas a habitual one cannot. So I always tell people is that the sitting position is things that you carry with you even when you leave the place. Whereas facing position, things stay there. After you leave, they don't follow. So in normal circumstances, feng shui, what we call consult or assessment, at least you need to know these two. Is this a residential, which is things that you're gonna stay? So if it's gonna be stay one, the sitting position is usually more important. We usually place a heavier emphasis on the sitting positions, what we call flying star, right? So so that's why we always choose a house that is not sitting in a clashing animal sign, right? So if your animal sign is, let's say, horse, right, you cannot be buying a house that is sitting north and facing south, because the sitting north will directly clash your horse, right? So it's very bad for you in terms of that. Business is more emphasized on facing stuff, right? Business is more emphasized because why? Business is usually very short term. Business is very short term. 1-2 year you cannot make money, your business close down. So you don't have time to worry about sitting star effect. It's all facing star effect, right? So because you are trying to, get to the point whereby you can stay afloat in business, whereas you are staying in the house is different, right? So staying in the house usually is a bit more long term, right? So that's why it's about building habit, right? So also at the same time, if you take a look at the landform feng shui, we always said that the backing mountain, which is the black tortoise, is very, very important because why? Again, it is the sitting position, right? It's not the facing position, right? So bear those things in mind when you are selecting a house, and you need to know that the activity is going to be a facing activity or sitting activity. Like for example, your front door, the front door is predominantly going to be facing star. So you want the facing star to be a prosperous star when you're deciding a front door, because why? The front door is basically dealing with active thingy, right? So like for example, if you earn money, right, the money come from where? The money come from the people that you engage in. Those are very active behavior, because what, you need to adjust your behavior towards the buyer, then only they give you the money. Your habit doesn't do anything to the fella don't like your behavior, you're gone. So just keep in mind if you are doing it, right? So this particular combination, if you take a look at it, right, so the star number 5 actually does not like to be countered or be attacked. So the star number 4 is a wood mark. So this is wood countering the earth, wood attacking the earth. So this makes star number 5 very agitated, right? So because it is in the sitting position, it causes that fella to develop very bad habit. Right? So one thing that you need to know, star number 5 is temperamental, to put in way, it's very temperamental. So it causes a person to do decision in a very rash manner, not very well thought of. And not very well thought of. So this is a person, because star number 4 is the star of knowledge, right? So this is a person that is given information that the fella cannot accept, right? I don't know whether you have seen some old folk before. Chinese says "sekubafala," right? So you try to advise, a person, the person just don't want to listen. And the fella is, it's like, oh no, I don't want to leave the house. It's like, maybe earthquake, or maybe, it's burning. Oh, I don't want to leave the house. And this everything I have. Waste your time talking to this sort of fella. Right? So is this particular combination, it causes the fella to have this irrational way of thinking, very difficult to change, right? So that's why this combination not really a very good combination. So if you take a look at it, right, so this one is basically easy one is addiction. Of course, gambling addiction is easy for you to take a look, right? So this causes a person to have extreme amount of addiction towards certain things. It can be gambling addiction, it can be substance abuse addiction, it can be sexual addiction, doesn't matter whatever addiction it is. But of course, gambling is the easier one to get in among all of it. Like for example, in the olden day, you're talking about substance abuse. There's really not many substance that you can abuse in the olden day. Okay. So if you're talking about sexually related thing, unless you're very rich, it's not easy for you to visit, those brothel. Brothel is not for cheap people to visit. Cheap people cannot visit brothel last time. Okay, right. So, but a gambling den, cheap, poor people can visit gambling den. And so that's why gambling is a very, very big problem in the olden day. Right? So gambling is a big problem in the olden era. So this one also causes you to have very bad health issues. Right. So that's why this particular combination is not really very favorable combination, because the star number 4 keep on triggering. You keep on getting triggered by outside factor. Any news that come to you, any people that basically come near you, trigger you to go into this particular situation of explosion. So explosion, you go and do things that is not very helpful to you, right? So again, because this built onto your habit, right? So it's basically built onto your habit. Long-term staying in this sort of house causes you to carry this particular bad way of making decision to other places. So it's like, talk about gambling risk, right? So there's two way. If let's say this is 5-4, let's say this is 5-4. So you are just a opportunistic gambler. So which means that if you go to a casino, you tend to gamble a lot. But if you don't go to a casino, you're fine. Right? You're fine when you're not near a casino or any gambling opportunity. Whereas 5-4 is that you will create gambling opportunity. You try to gamble everything. Right? Every single thing you see, also you try to start again. How about a house sitting south facing north? Red. Here pillar. What is that? Red in year pillar, you are sitting south, then it's already a clashing. No. Okay, right? So you're already clashing is basically not really good. So if let's say that you are a red, but you buy a house that is sitting on red one, that one is Grand Duke on red, then it is clashing your what we call clashing your front. So that one, the house doesn't really support income generation. Just income generation only. Okay, right? So that house doesn't support income generation. But if you are sitting in a house that is basically clashing you, a lot of your character, your health, relationship basically is gonna be gone. No matter where you go after you leave this particular house, that particular effect will still linger, because it causes you to have bad habit. It builds bad habit. Okay, so that's why never buy a house that's basically clashing your animal side. By the way, 24 direction, you got 23 direction that you can buy. Okay, please don't be stubborn. Must buy that particular direction, then come and ask, well, how can I neutralize it? Right? You go and dumb buy this sort of house. I don't ask for neutralization. Okay, right. So this is basically, this session is very short only, right? So I can tell you, every single direction also got the 5-4, right? So now this one is where I tell you, best, you got toilet there is the best. Since you're not going to use it, or maybe staircase, right? So you're not going to use this sort of places, toilet, staircase, storeroom is fine, right? So, but if this is a kitchen, then, your health is going to take a big hit. All right, guys, right? So very, very short session, really damn short session this time, right? So, see you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to change a little bit of it, we're going to talk about broader sense of, in terms of communication. Right, see you guys. Bye.